NVIDIA is falling closer to the $100 mark, but could it drop even below that after some backlash from a recent product launch in the gaming sector?
Gaming used to be the biggest segment, but now gaming is about this big compared to the AI segment, which is this big. And within that is the little itty bitty RTX 5070 market, which is teeny tiny.
Our MarketBeat analyst Thomas Hughes is going to dive into the details of that highly hyped product a little bit later on in the video and go into why he is still so bullish on the long-term future of NVIDIA. But first, Thomas, let's start with a look at the really rough few weeks NVIDIA's had ever since that earnings report came out.
It's been kind of floundering. The stock is down. It's moving up a little bit today, but it is generally down from the earnings report. It's had a hard time gaining traction. That sell-off plays into why the stock is undervalued. Right now, it's looking like a pretty good value relative to its price to earnings multiple, and the analyst sentiment is very bullish. They're looking for the stock to rise by double digits over the next few months.
The analyst reports are very bullish on this stock. We have seen a few different price reductions. Why do you think that is?
Right. So they're kind of resetting their outlook and kind of getting a more realistic view of what to expect. There have been some price target reductions, but we need to remember that the reductions are to levels that are still above the consensus estimate. The consensus estimate is predicting about 30% upside right now in mid-March, and the high-end range, which is where most of the current targets are, is up to another 20% upside above that. So we're looking at almost 50% upside in this stock over the next 12 months.
Yeah, but it's had so much downside recently. If you're an investor who bought NVIDIA closer to 140 just a couple of months ago, it's not feeling like a great stock to own right now as it hovers closer to 100.
Well, right now, the market is digesting this outlook. And as I said, with the price to earnings multiple, this recent price contraction has got the multiple down to about 24x current year earnings, which is elevated compared to the S&P 500. It's about a 3x handle, 3x premium compared to the average stock. But when you look at NVIDIA's growth outlook, which is for a sustained double-digit CAGR, compound annual growth rate, through the middle of next decade, the PE multiple versus 2035 is below 10x. I mean, that's a deep, deep value for this stock. In that light, you might expect to see this stock rise 100 to 200% over the next 10 years.
Yeah, this definitely seems like a good long-term buy. I know that's why you're such a fan of this company. And a lot of investors have seen that pay off, again, that tenfold through the years of sticking with NVIDIA. Let's
Right.
get to why you and so many analysts out there are bullish on the long-term future of this company. What developments does NVIDIA have underway right now that just show that continued sign of strength in the future?
Well, it's not so much as there's new developments, but it's just the ongoing story. NVIDIA is central to the AI revolution. It actually invented GPUs. It created the industry. It created the data center GPU industry. It's the first mover with the GPU infrastructure, the CUDA framework that allows programmers to use the GPUs to do parallel computing. It's years ahead of its closest competitor, which is AMD. It's gaining market share. Right now, it's current, which is like its current next generation, which is Blackwell, that's under full production, at full production, wicked demand. The next generation, Rubin, is already seeing pretty good demand. It's expected to come like with the next few months. We're looking at a multi-year, perhaps a multi-decade upgrade cycle for this company, driven just by the GPU market. That's not counting gaming or any of the other businesses that it has, which includes the automotive business, which I want to say is also showing some signs of strength and will underpin their results over the next year or two.
Yeah, plenty of reasons why NVIDIA is a long-term buy for you, but I know you have several other companies that you are really bullish on for the long term. Check out our latest free premium report on 7 stocks to buy and hold forever, written by Thomas. You can scan the QR code or click the link in the description of this video to get that free report on the list of his 7 long-term buys right now on MarketBeat.com. NVIDIA started as that gaming company and continues to be a popular option for gamers out there. But
Right.
let's talk about something that's been making a lot of headlines and a lot of chatter on the internet the last couple of weeks, and that's their new product launch of a lower cost GPU, the RTX 5070. There's been some mixed reviews about this, and even some chatter that AMD might be competing with some of the tech they have available in that sector.
So this news with the RTX 5070, it's news for the gamers, and it's not even really that big a deal for them. The problem is that this chip was hyped as being comparable to some more powerful, more expensive models, and it just doesn't live up to the hype. It's being called a decent GPU, but it's not one that's going to, it's not a game changer for this gaming company. It's just another product. It's probably not going to see as much demand as they might have expected, but it's also not one of their growth avenues. Now, as you said, NVIDIA was once a gaming company. Now it's the AI company. Gaming used to be the biggest segment. But now gaming is about this big compared to the AI segment, which is this big. And within that is the little itty-bitty RTX 5070 market, which is it's teeny tiny. So yes, it might affect sentiment. It's news for the gamers, but it's not news for NVIDIA investors.
And that is the long-term outlook that has you and, again, so many analysts out there bullish about the future. I think as we see all these new product launches, as retail consumers who see just a small portion of gigantic companies like NVIDIA, there can be reactionary moves in the market depending on these different product launches, responses to the different product launches. But let's look at the long-term growth of the company. What 10 years from now about NVIDIA is going to still be there in 10 years and still see that growth?
Well, so 10 years from now, NVIDIA is expected to still be growing at a double-digit pace. So you have to understand this company, which has doubled in size 2 or 3 times within the last 3 years, is going to double again over the next decade. Business is going to be sustained at this high level. It's making wicked amounts of cash. Margins are very high. Cash flow is robust. Its cash balance has been doubling annually for the last 2 years. That's going to slow down because of the law of large numbers, but we're talking about multi-billion-dollar increases to the cash balance every quarter. And this is on top of all the spending that they're doing to invest in AI. So this company not only has its business and its growth ahead of it to drive its stock price, but also this cash balance, the outlook for capital returns. It already pays a small dividend. It does some small repurchases. I expect to see those capital returns grow and accelerate over the coming years, and that will certainly play into the stock price advance.
Given all of those great details you shared about this company, why do you think right now the stock price is not advancing, but is in fact continuing to dip?
Well, there are plenty of headwinds in the market right now. Trump's policy changes are certainly a big impact on the stock price and the general broad market action right now. So it could be a few weeks or a few months for that to play out. But the analysts are positive that the turmoil, the uncertainty caused by these policy changes will settle down quickly, probably within a few months. And they're expecting to see NVIDIA and other major tech stocks hitting new highs in the second half.
But there could still be a little bit more pain to go before that turnaround comes. Let's look at NVIDIA's chart a little bit more of just
Sure.
how far it's fallen in the last couple of weeks, and if you think there is potential it could drop a little more.
So you can see a pretty strong uptrend in NVIDIA's stock that began in 2022, totally driven by AI. Analyst sentiment, institutional activity. Late in 2024, we reached the top and now the market's in a range. Earlier this year, we broke below this trend line, which signals to me that the range is going to be in effect for a while. Right now, the bottom of the range is near the 95 level, which to me is a target for firm support. So regardless of the long-term outlook, the near-term outlook is a possibility for this stock to retreat as deeply as the 95 level before it begins to rebound.
I feel like just a couple of months ago, we would not have considered NVIDIA dropping below that $100 mark again, but it seems like a very real possibility today. Do you think a lot of investors, especially those who are bullish on the long-term future of NVIDIA, are going to immediately start buying that up as a buying opportunity if it does drop to that threshold?
Yeah, I would view a drop below $100 as a pretty strong buy signal for this stock. I mean, as it is, it's already 10% below the analyst's lowest target. So dropping below $100 to 95 would open up that discount even more. Um, in that scenario, I would expect to see this stock fire a pretty strong signal.
Well, we'll see what the future holds for NVIDIA. We'd love to hear what you think. Do you think this stock has further to fall, or are you already buying the discount? Share your thoughts in the comments and check out our latest video on NVIDIA's big competitor, AMD, to see if you think that stock has a future too. Thanks again for joining us, everyone. And as always, happy investing.